Balancing a homemade raw diet. It's the most intimidating part about making your pet's food yourself. Figuring out what nutrients are missing feels impossible if you don't know how to analyze the foods you're feeding. So, in times like this, what do? Well, this is usually where multivitamins come to mind. They're a simple, all-in-one supplement that can easily fill nutritional holes in your pet's meal, right? In this video, I'm going to go over what nutritional holes are commonly found in the raw diet and if I think that they're worth using to fill these holes. A commercial pet food usually contains a few real food ingredients like meat, vegetables, and a starch base, while the rest of the ingredients are a cocktail of synthetic nutrients. These are used to fill nutritional holes that the existing foods don't provide, which balances the food for the pet species and life stage. When making a raw diet, the same nutrient standards still exist and need to be met. Now, depending on what you're feeding, you may be able to meet these nutrient requirements with fresh whole foods. But when you can't, sometimes synthetic nutrients are necessary. The problem many owners face when it comes to balancing, though, is that they aren't exactly sure what nutrients are low, let alone how much to add in. So, multivitamins seem like they could be a lifesaver in this situation. Multivitamins are supplements that contain a handful of different vitamins and minerals, as well as other filler ingredients that help form it into a tablet or chewable. In human nutrition, taking a multivitamin is a pretty common thing people do. Some people take multivitamins that are geared towards specific deficiencies or health issues, but others take them without necessarily knowing why. They just do it because they read about perceived health benefits. There have been some debates on multivitamins throughout the years. Some say that they can be beneficial, while others say that they're a poor option to use as a nutrient source. Unfortunately, I wouldn't suggest giving your pet a multivitamin, and here's why. First of all, there is actually no standard for a multivitamin's composition, both for humans and for pets. The nutrients that are in multivitamins, as well as the amounts, vary depending on the brand and product. So you really have to pay attention to what the label states. As you can see between these two brands, one contains 2,200 IU of vitamin A, while this brand contains 750 IU. This brand contains calcium and phosphorus, while this brand only contains calcium. The problem with this is that because the meal will also contain some calcium and phosphorus, a multivitamin only containing calcium distorts the ratio between these two minerals. This is important because many nutrients have a symbiotic relationship, and when one nutrient is provided in excess, this can affect the absorption of another. The proper ratio for calcium and phosphorus is about 1:1 to 1.2:1. So raising that calcium level can cause phosphate levels in the blood to drop. Secondly, many of the nutrients in these multivitamins are ones that already are met through the raw diet. For instance, let's look at this multivitamin again. When feeding raw, the diet includes raw meaty bones, muscle meats, liver, and at least one other secreting organ meat. The nutrients often met in a PMR meal like this are calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, iron, selenium, vitamin A, and B vitamins. When adding a multivitamin to this, you run the risk of giving too much of a nutrient, while still not providing the original missing nutrients. For example, an excess of fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A, D, and E can't be excreted through the urine like water-soluble vitamins can. These vitamins will accumulate in the liver and cause many issues down the line when fed in excess. The nutrients often lacking in a PMR raw diet are vitamin D, E, EPA and DHA, manganese, iodine, and possibly zinc and copper. With that in mind, let's look back at this multivitamin. This is a common brand I get asked about a lot by beginners who want to fill nutritional gaps easily. Looking at the nutrient list, it certainly looks like it provides a lot. But when you actually know what to look for, you can see that the supplement only covers manganese and vitamin D. Thirdly, the bioavailability of the nutrients in the multivitamins can be questionable. Synthetic vitamins and minerals can come in different forms, with some forms being better absorbed by the body than others. For example, let's look at zinc. The common forms of zinc are picolinate, citrate, and gluconate. A study done in the 1970s aimed to see which form was the most bioavailable to humans, and they measured this by testing the zinc levels in the hair, urine, and blood. The study concluded that zinc picolinate raised zinc levels in the body significantly, where the other two were not nearly as successful. Unfortunately, with most multivitamins, they don't tell you what form the nutrients are in, so you never really know how well their body will absorb it when you give it to them. A better and more efficient way to provide these missing nutrients is through species-appropriate whole foods. And if that's not possible, individual nutrients that are in the most bioavailable form. I'm sure you're wondering, how do I find out what my pet's meal needs, and how much of it? I go over this in detail in this video.